I wanted to talk about a few elements of the build-up for this fight that have made the newspapers, been discussed by the boxing public. One of those is drug testing and the fines associated with failing a drug test. One of them is the Mayweather sparring, both the footage that was leaked on Instagram and also the Zab Judah rumours of Mayweather Judah. But first, I want to start with the face-off, when the two guys met together at the press conference and there was the stare down, if you like. Now, we know that both of these guys are smaller for elite level welterweights. I believe if you stood these two next to Kell Brook, next to Keith Thurman, out of the four, these two would be the smallest. What's bizarre about that is, unlike Kell Brook, unlike Keith Thurman, both of these guys have fought and won championships at 154 pounds. I shouldn't say 154 actually, because I know catchweights were involved at times. Let's say both of these guys have fought and won titles at light middleweight. So you've got a bizarre situation where the two guys who are smaller welterweights have actually fought in the weight division above. I think it's quite possible both of these guys could actually make 140 pounds. However, in the stare down, Floyd Mayweather looked a much bigger man than Manny Pacquiao. They really looked like there was a weight difference between them. And whilst I appreciated that Manny Pacquiao was likely the smaller man, certainly the shorter man, I didn't think that the size difference would be that pronounced. Will that be a relevant factor in the fight? It may be, it may not be. Who knows? But I thought it was worth commenting on because I was slightly surprised by that. I think next I wanted to talk about the Zab Judah sparring with Mayweather and also the Instagram video that was posted of Floyd Mayweather sparring. Let me start with the Instagram video. Clearly in that video, Floyd Mayweather looks absolutely excellent. I mean, he's got a habit now of sort of teasing the public, sharing a little bit of an information, a photo, a clip. He shared the photo, that clip of him and Manny Pacquiao discussing the fight. Now, I think it's his missus has shared this on Instagram. Now, Floyd Mayweather looks absolutely devastating in the footage. Devastating. He's running rings about an opponent, he's counter-punching, he's punching off the ropes, and then he goes into attack mode. And it's a kind of attack mode that we don't really see from Floyd in fights. Floyd is a mover, Floyd is a runner, Floyd is a jabber, Floyd is a counter-puncher, he's all those things. But what you see him doing in this footage is coming forward on his front foot, hitting hard, real offensive aggression. I don't know whether he's trying to suggest that he'll be going for the knockout against Manny Pacquiao, or if he's going to suggest that he may not be fighting the fight we all expect him to fight, the counterpunch style fight. But regardless, I personally do not put too much weight behind this footage. Let's not forget, Floyd Mayweather is the #1 fighter on the planet, and has been for several years. Several years. We have no idea who this sparring partner is. No idea. We assume that the sparring partner is not an elite level welterweight, light middleweight, because we'd have probably heard about it if he was sparring someone who was elite level. Like we've heard about Zab Judah, like we've heard rumours about Pacquiao sparring Rigondeaux. So essentially what you've got is a guy here, and we've got no idea who he is, if he's just a sort of novice, whatever. But we've got a guy here in Mayweather's home gym, surrounded by Mayweather's home fans, against the best fighter on the planet, and he's been made to look poor. Now, if it emerged that that fighter in that headguard was Danny Garcia, Amir Khan, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, then yes, Mayweather looks very, very good. But until we know who that sparring partner is, I think it's pretty impossible to put any weight behind that footage. Because quite frankly, if you put me in a ring with Floyd Mayweather, I would also look absolutely terrible. He would also be able to land at will. And that kind of aggression that he showed, and that front foot offence, I don't expect to see that against Manny Pacquiao. Now, with regards to the rumours of him sparring Zab Judah, and indeed I think there's been some rumours that he actually got dropped by Zab Judah. Again, it's not something that I put too much weight behind, you know. It's interesting that there's no footage that's emerged of that, you know. Obviously, Team Floyd are only showing footage that really puts Floyd in a very, very good light. Yeah, Zab Judah, I know he had spells of success when he fought Floyd, and I know he dropped Floyd in that fight. But Zab Judah now, you know, he lost to Paulie Malignaggi recently. Zab Judah is not a top 25 welterweight. He's not going to be dropping Floyd Mayweather in sparring. I view that as a near impossibility. I mean, if Zab Judah is dropping Mayweather wearing 20-ounce gloves, then there is no way. Yeah, how would Floyd last 24 rounds with Marcus Maidana but get dropped by Zab Judah? It just doesn't make sense. So I think that's nonsense. The Pacquiao-Rigondeaux sparring, you know, I don't see that as overly relevant. You know, Rigondeaux, I can see, you know, he's a huge technician, huge amateur background, very technical. But I think he's too light to really represent relevant sparring. He's too small, too weak, too light to represent relevant sparring. So what I'm getting at here is, first thing, size difference between the two guys, worth noting. Sparring, not worth noting. I think the other thing worth disregarding is the drug testing chat. Specifically, no, don't get me wrong, I'm pleased that there is drug testing. You know, there's all sorts of rumours. Floyd's looking very veiny recently. Like, are you kidding me? The guy's an Olympic gold medalist who's been the #1 in his sport for many, many years. Of course he's looking veiny. He's a professional athlete, you know, at the elite world level. Anyway, there should be drug testing. It should be fair and equitable for both parties. The $5 million fine is an absolute nonsense. You know, Floyd Mayweather's at a point now where he is earning, you know, he could well earn $200 million for this fight. Conservatively, he will be earning anywhere between 40 and 50 million for any future fights. If he can rematch Manny Pacquiao, he may even earn in excess of 200 million. Now, if he got caught using steroids, the $5 million fine is not even worth worrying about. You lose the rematch with Pacquiao worth 200 million. You lose the fight against Amir Khan worth 50 million. You lose the fight against Danny Garcia worth 50 million. Yeah, your legacy's ruined. $5 million fine sounds like a lot because it's a lot of money to normal people. But realistically, if one of these guys gets caught out using performance-enhancing drugs, they lose a lot more. And their legacy is damaged irreparably. So I view this £5 million fine thing as a bit of an irrelevance. I view the sparring as a bit of an irrelevance. The only thing that so far has really... And the reason I view the sparring as an irrelevance, don't get me wrong, if we had access to full sparring figures and videos, yeah, very, very relevant. But we only have access to tiny clips, hand-selected by the fighters and their teams, which I don't think is worth putting much weight behind. And also rumours, you know, it's bizarre rumours that Floyd's getting dropped by Zab Judah. Like, anyway, putting that aside, the one thing that I noticed that I think has the potential to be relevant is the size difference between these two guys. I know Manny Pacquiao's fought bigger men before. I know Floyd Mayweather's fought bigger men before. But if we take this fight as a standalone event, the biggest fight in either of these two guys' career, and we say they're probably the best opponent each other have ever faced, could that size difference be a factor? Maybe. It's the one thing that I think is worth analysing further. Let me know your thoughts on the build-up, on the fight in general, and on the issues I've discussed.